Okay, so now I have my image of my stadium, and this is what my magazine looks like at the moment. So I've got the header, I've got my fonts, I've got a bit of a logo happening there as well. What this image of the stadium is, it's going to sort of be my background for the magazine. So it's going to not be the primary image, it's going to sort of be in the background, and I'm going to have images on top of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move that across. So I'm going to unlock that layer. I can just drag that across here and it will appear. What I want to do is make sure it's in the right order. So if I put it above, it sort of takes it out. I don't mind it like that actually, but I don't want to do that today. And have it below like this. I want his shadow to be in it, so I'm going to go edit, transform, and scale. And move that to here. And apply. So it's going to sit there. What I'm going to do is I want it to sort of fit in with my color scheme, and my magazine color scheme is obviously going to be red and white colors for cricket ball. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to close this, and I am going to, you don't have to do this in your design, but I think it'd be interesting for you to experiment with this and see how it works. So you can do this for a bunch of different images, and I like using it, and I'd like you to have a go at using it. Doesn't mean you have to use it for your final product, but I would like you to experiment with it. And it's going to gradient map. So how we get there is image, adjustments, and going down to gradient map here. Click on that. And so what gradient map does is it allows you to select the colors that you want for the image. So for example, it's red and white at the moment. I could flip that around and make it white and red. I'm not sure if that really works, but you can sort of play around and adjust these sort of things. I think they can look sometimes quite effective. So for example, if I wanted to change that, I would click on the marker down the bottom, click on the color. Let's say if I wanted to make it like an Australian one, obviously I like use green and yellow. So that would be my like green. And then I would grab my yellow over here. Do something like that. That can look sometimes. And then you can move them across to then sort of adjust the strength of that as well. Adjust the gradient. We can adjust that from side to side as well. But all I'm going to do today is I'm going to do red and white. So I'm going to select the red that I've been using for the magazine. Oh, for some reason that's pink. Make it red and it will be white. Okay. So I'll put that back towards the middle. So that's something to play with initially, and then what I want to do after that, because I don't want this to be our key image, so I want it to be less focused. So I'm going to go down to pixelate. I'm going to click color halftone. It's got all these settings, so you don't have to put them in. You can just click OK. And what color halftone does, it makes it sort of seem like a printing press, that these dots come out. So it's like this dot matrix comes up over it. So it's the image is still there. We can still recognize it, but it is less focus on that image. It's softer. And what I would then like to do is I would like to put some images on top of that. So what I might do is I might get the screenshot of, here we go, of the trophy. Here's the cricket trophy. And I'm going to do what I was doing before. I'm going to use my magic wand. And all I'm going to do is select white. I'm going to do that. There's some areas that have come out. What I might do is I might make sure that it's on contiguous. And I might go through and select it bit by bit, the areas that I want to get rid of. See this grey shadow? I might try, oh, that's not quite working. So I've got all that, and then I'm going to go through and I will erase it. So I've selected all the white areas using the magic wand. I'll go through and erase all that information. So I've got my cricket trophy here. And then I'm going to drag it down onto here. It looks very different from the rest of the magazine, so we're going to make some adjustments to that. I'm going to have that at the bottom, so it's going up. Here. Might bring that down. So, like that. I don't want it to stay like this. All I want is probably the outline. So I'm going to go to blending options. I'm going to go to color overlay. I think I'm just going to make it white. Or does it look like red? I don't mind red. Might make it a different shade of red. I might make it a touch lighter. Like that. So we've got that sort of shape of the trophy is there as well. And now what I'll do is I will grab my, and I'll grab my players now. So the first one I'll do, I'll grab this image here of Glenn Maxwell. He's a cricketer for Australia. And what I've done here, I've picked this image really specifically because of the black background. So I had a previous image of him, which I can get up. Let me try and find it for a second. The previous image that I had of him looked like this. So I'll just get that open if I can on Photoshop. I'm just going to click and drag it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't work. It's not working right now for me. Hold on. There it is there. And then I will click and open that in Photoshop. So the difference is between these two images and why one is going to be easier to do than the other is I just want to select the cricketer. I don't want any part of the background. Now, because he's here playing cricket, you've got the grounds, you've got the stumps, you've got this advertising boards, you've got the crowd in around him. So it's a lot harder to then just select him. We're here with this photo here where it's just black, where it's just a solid background. It's going to be a lot easier. So what I can do is very similar to the one I was doing before. I'm just going to select the areas that are black. So, and you can see those areas that come up. But see here, it's selecting on his hair. That's area that I want to keep. So what I'm going to do is we go up here. So there's 4 boxes up on that top left. We have the select button, new selection. We've got where you can add selections, and then you've got areas where you can subtract selections. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to try and subtract where his hair has been selected in the jersey. So it keeps his face. Oops, that's too far. Face, all of that is still there, and there's this Getty line here, and I'm going to get rid of that in a second. I'm going to unlock the layer, and then same deal again as I'm going to go through and erase all of this. See, I missed out a bit of his hair, so I have to go back and fix that up. Is that working there? There. So up here we can click on step forward and step backwards. That's like redo and undo. So we can go back over things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to erase that area that's been selected so he stays there. That hair is a lot better now. We've got this Getty sign here. This is like the organization that has taken the photo. They do that to protect their photos. I'm just going to erase it just for us. You can use images like this. That's absolutely fine. I might just need to help you a little bit with erasing it. So I'm just going to try and erase that there. If I got an area selected, yep. I'm just going to come through and try. Why is that not moving? I'm not sure. I'll select that area and then I will erase it. As you can see here. I'm going to go around and do that. Just fix this up. Do my best with this. If there's a little bit still on his jersey, like that's fine. I don't think that's a really big deal that you're going to notice in the big scheme of things. I'm just going to fix up these bits of hair, just cleaning that up a little bit more so it looks a bit more professional, just so we can't see it. We've got this black here. Take the end off that handle there. I'll just try and get this. What I might do is I might go the opposite. So we had a high tolerance. I'm going to bring that down to a low tolerance. So I'm going to make that like 10. And that just selects that area, and I can then just come through and erase that. I'm pretty happy with this at the moment. I'll just go around again and I will just try and clean it up. Well, I took a bit off his glove there. So action shots like the one you can see on the right, they can be a bit harder. I would suggest us looking for these sort of photos if you're looking for individuals and stuff like that. If you wanted to do, for example, if you're doing a surfing magazine and if you've got like a photo of a wave, you might need to do this, but you might not need to. So it's just up to you. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to now drag him across to my layout here. He's a bit small, so I'm going to make him a bit bigger, edit transform. I'm going to make him larger. You can sort of sit there. That's looking okay. Looks a bit busy and he's not completely in matching with my color theme. So I might go to blending options and I'm going to go maybe to gradient overlay. And what that does, similar to color overlay where you set the color, here you can set it from the colors. So I've got it red to white and I'm just going to make this low, sort of a mid opacity. So we can, opacity is the strength of how much we can see. So I'm going to put that over around 50%. What I might also do is I might just make that the contrast a bit higher for him. Yeah, that's looking a bit better, I think. So the brightness and contrast then affects like how bright or the difference between black and white for the images. So I wanted to make it seem quite glossy. Yeah, I think that looks good. I've got a second image. I'll try and do that in a second. I've got Virat Kohli, he's the captain of India. See this one, what we can do here, this is a different technique. We're going to do magnetic lasso. What magnetic lasso does is you can go around and it tries to trace around an object. So lasso, we can click here and you can freehand draw this. That can be sometimes quite difficult. What polygonal lasso does, it is straight lines like this. So you control that and customize that. What magnetic is it sticks to the line. So I'm going to try and start doing this arm. Now I'm going to move my mouse over the top of that and it will automatically select checkpoints. So I'm going to try and do the outline of him. This is going pretty well so far. Sometimes the face is often the hardest just because of the skin tone. I missed his ear there. If you cut off a little bit of his ear, it's not the end of the world. So it's struggling to pick up the hair in some places. Obviously this takes time and you need to be patient through this process. This is not something to rush. I'm giving you class time to work on this and you're going to be working on this for homework as well. It's important not to rush it because if you do, you will make mistakes. So you need to take your time with this. I want you to experiment. Even if you don't end up using this for it, I think it's important that you're learning to use these sort of tools for Photoshop. Just so then you know how to use the program. It's an important program for lots of for things like photography, but also design and illustrations and stuff like that. So I think it's an important tool to know just for school. I'm going to go around the bat. Again, I know this might seem a bit sort of tedious and long and maybe a bit boring, but it's pretty important that you're doing it right. Go around the bat. You can click and it will make its own marks, so you can choose where you want to make those marks. That's it, we've got them there. What we're going to do is I'm going to click and drag that over now, and we'll see how it looks. Is it coming up? Should be. There he is. What I might do is I might move Glenn over a little bit. I might bring this up a little bit as well, because I might put a ticker bar at the bottom. I'll move Virat over here as well. Virat's going to be in front of Glenn because obviously Glenn's got his back coming out. I think it would be good if I could have one more player over on the right hand side maybe. But I haven't got time to do that today. So I've got my two images there. What I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did for Glenn Maxwell. I'm going to do that for Virat Kohli. So I'm going to do the red to white. I'm going to have that on a low opacity, like 50%. And then I'm going to go up to image adjustments, brightness and contrast, and have this on give them a high contrast, maybe a bit brighter. So it looks more like that sort of glossy sort of magazine look. I'm going to do a new layer, and then at the bottom here, I'm going to draw a box, and I'm going to make that white, I think. Maybe black, actually, so it stands out a bit more. Okay, so this is sort of the setup of my magazine at the moment. What I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to start talking about where we can align text, where things should be going. Okay.